So this could bode well for Xbox in a number of ways, and I feel like this is something that they could actually have a little bit of a leg up on against PlayStation. But you guys might feel differently. I think it's really going to kind of come down to what you guys think about it. For me, anyway, like I said, I feel like it is something that gives Microsoft a bit of an edge, and maybe an edge in a very interesting way. So I'm always curious when this stuff comes up like this, how you guys react and how you guys feel about this kind of news, because like I said, it realistically means that pretty much anything can happen. So, again, anything can happen and anything will happen, it seems like, in the gaming industry. And, I can't wait to talk about this. Should be an interesting video, to say the least. What's up, everybody? Crap Gamer here with Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you all so much for checking it out. I certainly appreciate it. I do daily gaming content here, usually multiple videos a day, but at least one video a day. You can always count on that. I try to be informative yet entertaining, and that's always like the most important thing to me. I always want to be somebody who, I don't take everything too seriously, but I also try to be there, when there's breaking news and stuff like that. And hopefully that comes across to everybody in a pretty good way, because, at the end of the day, it really kind of comes down to, you guys and how you all feel about like the stuff in the news and stuff like that. Anyway, with that being said, we know Microsoft is going all in on some kind of handheld device. It's already been confirmed, so we know that that's the case or whatever. It's been confirmed, and Microsoft is definitely going to be doing a handheld. Their handheld is going to be more online, and it's going to be able to play, the Xbox stuff that we already have, right? So in that way, and thankfully because of the Xbox Series S, I feel like that realistically they have a bit of an advantage with this situation overall, because realistically they have that lower end spec, and and it's something that I feel like gives them a bit of a heads up. So, this has a lot to do with the handheld that PlayStation is leaked to be working on. And apparently the PlayStation 5 handheld is going to be like a lower end PS5 model that would need dedicated versions. And so it might need their own versions of games, unlike the Xbox one. So the rumored PS5 handheld will unlikely be able to play PS5 games natively, and will probably require dedicated versions of new games. Commented on the recent rumors regarding Sony's return to the handheld market following the PS Vita, the tech experts at Digital Foundry made some interesting observations on what the system could actually be, highlighting how it will not be able to run PS5 games natively, as what is currently achieved on a 200-watt system will be impossible to achieve on a 20-watt system even a few years down the road. As such, scaling down games will be required to get games to run on the system, similar to how the Nintendo Switch handles running games in handheld mode. Sony already showed how scaling up is entirely possible with the PS5 Pro, so scaling down shouldn't be impossible. The real question is how scaling games down will be handled by the PS5 handheld, as the Microsoft handheld, for example, may be similar to how things are handled for the Steam Deck and similar system due to the company's approach, letting the user tweak the graphics setting of the PC version of the games to get the game running decently. In addition, Microsoft could use the Xbox Series S profile available for all their games to get them to run decently on their handheld without leaving the user to configure settings. So again, that is something that is really smart thinking and like forward thinking by Microsoft. This is why people go, oh, well, you bash Xbox all the time. I love Xbox. I think the hardware wise, fantastic stuff. But the main problem that they have is like the messaging and some of the other stuff. But anyway, with the positive on this is, you have a situation where gamers are, very excited for like the new handhelds and things like that. And just like how Microsoft was able to get like more frame rate than PlayStation with the Xbox Series X and even the S, and the reason was because they already had that stuff built into the SKU. And so, you see the SKU that's kind of built in and doing that stuff. and so they're able to kind of accomplish that, which is, pretty awesome when you think about it. And that's why, like, PlayStation needs games that are, completely rebuilt to be able to kind of do that, which is an interesting kind of concept when you think about it. So it looks like having the Series S would pay off big time for Microsoft, and I think that's exactly kind of what the thought process is for them. Now, at the end of the day, is that something that they're going to be able to take advantage of? That's going to be the question that I think people are, really curious about, because Microsoft tends to shoot themselves in the foot a lot. And, when you do that, realistically, it almost doesn't matter what you do, because, at the end of the day, gamers are going to kind of ignore you, and I hope Microsoft isn't to that point yet where everybody's kind of ignoring Xbox and pretending like they don't exist, but if they do, I mean, that's Microsoft's own fault, in my opinion. I just feel like, Microsoft is better than that, and even if I have my issues with the company itself, I think that Xbox is better than that, so, we'll see how that kind of rolls out. But again, very interesting to see the thought process on that. Sony, on the other hand, doesn't have a lower end PS5 model, so the handheld would require dedicated versions of the games, while older games would need to be patched in order to run on the system. As such, PS5 handheld could be a lower end PS5 system that Sony currently doesn't have, that will offer a slice of what the base model offers in terms of visual fidelity and potential backwards compatibility. All the current reports suggest that the PS5 handheld is still many years from release, so it will be a very long time before we see what it's capable of, if it'll ever be able to put a dent into Nintendo Switch's popularity, whose concept of home console and handheld all in one system will likely get more popular with the release of the yet to be revealed successor. So, again, that's sort of where we're at with all of this stuff, and it does look like we're starting to see some interesting things regarding this, because again, Nintendo, I feel, is doing so well in the handheld market because at the end of the day, they have stuff that gamers want. They have these games that everybody wants, and they have great exclusives and things like that. While when you look at what Microsoft is doing, they're kind of doing things in a little bit different way that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to a lot of people. But this is an area where they can get like a great sort of situation, in my opinion, where they could actually have an advantage, because you can play your existing library. Where like on the PS5, if they have a handheld, you're going to be able to, you have to probably most likely end up getting something like buy a whole new version. I don't think it's going to be the same way like it is for PlayStation. So like they're doing different things, and that's going to, I think, could work out to the benefit of Xbox. We'll see how that kind of handles, and how they handle things, and and how things kind of work out for everybody in the future or whatever. So again, I think it remains to be seen whether or not this is something that is going to pay and work out for Xbox better than PlayStation, and we're gonna have to see how that kind of ends up for everybody. I'm excited to see how it works out. Like I said, I could definitely be very much excited about the idea of a handheld if it already plays what you have. So we'll see how that kind of works out, and how Microsoft can get things kind of working in a interesting way. Is that going to be something that they're going to be capable of doing? I think that it's going to be something that's going to be interesting nonetheless. Is Microsoft going to be able to do their own thing? That could be something that happens. We'll see. Like I said, it's an exciting time. It's going to be really cool to see how both Microsoft and Sony handle the handheld, kind of going in on Nintendo's market. It might not end well for either of them. We'll see. Like I said, outside of Nintendo, there hasn't been a real successful handheld. I mean, the PSP was successful with 80 million sold, but in terms of you know, like the current stuff, that stuff hasn't sold it well at all. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this gives Xbox a huge advantage over the PlayStation 5? Let me know. Rack them up, fact them up, crap gamer them up. Crap gamer out.